It's time for round 4 of Pirelli GT4 America, and for the first time in 15 years, SRO America comes back right here to Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. What will the story be? Well, I have an idea. It's going to happen right here. Let's head to the guys with the story, Ryan Marine and Calvin Fish.
Thanks, Amanda. The Pirelli GT4 America season is really hotting up here as we get to the heat of the summer. And speaking of heat, how about the hot streak that we have in the Pro-Am class right now with Kevin Cook and Sam Craven taking control of the championship?
Amazing. Had a disaster in the opening round at Sonoma. Since that point, they're undefeated. 4 on the bounce, including the double pointer there at Circuit the Americas. They look like they are the team to beat. They are the benchmark. Kendon had such a strong year last year on the back of 2 championships, and he's come out the box strong again.
2 other classes as well, Silver and Am, and still a lot to play for at the midway point in the season.
Yeah, and I think Spencer Pumpelly, Luca Mars, they look really strong. They've been putting together some great races, big wins, of course. That's got them the championship lead, so they're definitely the team to beat in that class.
Well, race number 1 was yesterday. Let's take a look back at how the weekend got started here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. On a hot Georgia afternoon, race number 1 for Pirelli GT4 America got underway at Road Atlanta.
Well, hey, I'm Tony Gable, you're not.
And he was the man of the hour. By taking the start, he became the most experienced driver in SRO America history. At the front, Spencer Pumpelly controlled the field, getting a great jump on the initial start at the RS1 Porsche. Weston Workman giving chase, those two battling for a championship in the silver class. But dramas on the pre-grid for random vandals. Kenton Cook and Sam Craven, the team noticed a tire losing air. That meant a longer pit stop for them. That cost them time in the pit lane. Championship contenders in the Pro-Am class. Now, Tony Gables and Michael Cooper quickly making up ground. It was Cooper behind the wheel, chasing down the leader in the Pro-Am class, taking the lead from Mark Miller.
Tony, we've got to start with what just happened on the track. You're in the lead right now. How great of a feeling is this, coming back to Road Atlanta and to be in the lead of the Pro-Am category?
Oh, obviously it's a great feeling to be here, and to be in the lead is even more special. This is a very special place. Hadn't raced here in 15 years, so it's really good to be back, and it just came to me, like putting on my own glove.
We have to ask the obvious question. You are now the most experienced driver in SRO Motorsports Group America history. What an honor.
Well, yeah, I can't find anything better to do, I guess. But no, it's a blast to be racing this long, and I hope to continue on and keep setting a record for the next few years.
The class win wasn't enough for Cooper and Gables. A safety car bunched him back up to the rest of the field as this spin from Sean Gibbons brought out the yellow, and all chaos ensued on the restart. Now at the controls, Luca Mars led the field to the green flag, immediately under pressure from Tyler Gonzalez, but Mars was able to hang on to the position. Just behind, it was Kevin Boehm fending off a challenge from Austin Jers. Meanwhile, Kenton Cook recovering from that penalty, charging his way back through the field and trying to salvage the day that started with the puncture on the grid. The lead in the Am class changed hands in the final moments, with the brothers Michael and Alex Garcia taking the lead, and they would hold it to the checkered flag. Michael Cooper, though, had his head down because he had an overall win in the back of his mind. Kenton Cook now challenging Mark Miller, who was struggling late in the going. That Mercedes dropped back after leading prior to that full course yellow. Kenton Cook taking that position there, but Cooper at the front, able to sweep around Tyler Gonzalez, put his head down. Just a couple of more cars to chase down to get to the overall lead, and the first challenge would be Kevin Boehm. Despite the fact these were 2 cars in different classes, Boehm was reticent to relinquish the position, fighting hard with Michael Cooper in the run down to the hairpin. It was a super tight battle, but Cooper was able to make the pass and then had just 1 car left to catch in the final minutes to secure an overall win on what could be a historic weekend for himself and Tony Gables. On the final lap, he had run down Luca Mars, and it was rinse and repeat. The McLaren to the outside of the Porsche this time in the run down the hill, and Michael Cooper was not going to be denied. On the day in which his teammate Tony Gables became the most experienced driver in series history, Michael Cooper scores a win which takes him just 1 away from the all-time wins record in SRO America history.
action right here on the grid as Michael Cooper gets set to kick off this race from pole position. And you're sitting on history yourself, Michael. What does this say about Michael Cooper?
I think success and longevity. You know, I never stop working at this craft. It's never enough for me. You know, could sit on this verge of the milestone for a long time, but it's not something that goes into the consciousness inside the race car. Just go and execute, and the results will work themselves out.
Well, he will start this race, and it was all Black Dog Racing yesterday, and Tony Gaples, that guy made history. You go, guys, sometimes the announcer curse works. We did a feature with Tony Gaples on Thursday that we had to throw out because they go and win the race. From the milestone you made to bookend it with a win, what does this highlight say, Tony?
It was a pretty spectacular day yesterday, our biggest win yet to date, and you know, we hope to repeat today.
What makes Michael Cooper so special?
Boy, his focus, his confidence, he's a man amongst men out here.
And how has he improved you over the last 10 years?
Well, he just rubs off on you, and you know, he's being able to see his data is just unbelievable.
Well, Tony Gaples with the most start in history. Michael Cooper looking to become the winningest driver in series history and tie himself with Peter Cunningham, and one more, he'll do it.
It could be today, Amanda, that's for sure. We'll see at the end of 1 hour of racing. They started it off right by taking the overall pole for this second race. But, Calvin, conditions are going to be a challenge. It is hot. Third straight race weekend in this series that we've been talking about hot conditions going racing.
Yeah, and it's tough on the cars. It's tough with time management. It's tough on the drivers. I mean, some of these drivers are going to be doing a 35-minute stint here in this kind of heat, so it's going to be extreme. But I think everyone was well conditioned yesterday. It's not a lot different to what we experienced late in the afternoon yesterday, a little bit more in the middle of the day. So maybe the balance on the race car will be slightly different, but I think everyone's ready to go.
Certainly so. There's a lot of activity down on the grid. 31 GT4 cars set to take the start. This is part of the SRO's Global GT4 Manufacturers Championship, and coming into this race today, Toyota has the top spot over BMW, but Porsche, Mercedes-AMG, and McLaren all in the top 5, and of course big points scored for McLaren yesterday with that result for Black Dog Racing. More points about to be scored here in just over an hour. This track, Calvin, it's been 15 years since SRO America came here, but when it was announced, it brought a lot of smiles to people's faces because this is a favorite for a reason.
It's a special place. It takes big commitment. There's some really high-speed corners where you got to put it all on the line, like turn 1, like turn 5. There's some great overtaking opportunities into some of these deep brake zones, particularly down in that chicane that you can see on the track there, 10A, 10B. Lots of elevation change. Really got to work hard to get your car working around this race circuit. And as we said, it's new for a lot of these drivers here, so they're experiencing it for the very first time. But out of the box yesterday, we saw some spicy battles throughout all three classes.
Place was dreamed up by David Sloyer, Earl Walker, and Arthur Montgomery back in 1969. It was excavated, graded, and paved in 6 months. Imagine trying to do that today, and it's been a classic ever since. 12 turns, 2.5 miles around, and the first ever race here was September 13th of 1970, won by Tony Dean in a Porsche 908-02. Fantastic history started that day. It continues here today with Pirelli GT4 America race number 2 and a crucial time in the season. The season has reached the halfway point. Championships coming into focus, had some big results with the championship in mind yesterday, Calvin, and drivers will be thinking about that again today as they get set to do battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Halfway point in the season, so lots to play for. Some of the championship leaders scored big points, but there's also some big movers and shakers like Cooper and Gaples there with a big win. They're not at the championship hunt yet. They've still got a lot of work to do.
They do indeed, and it starts here in just a few moments when the engines get fired for this race. Couple of cars that are starting a little further back than you might expect. Jonathan Neudorf in that Advanced Motorsports McLaren, they were up at the front yesterday, but they have to start all the way at the back of the pack here today. Tyler Stone for Tech Sport Racing. That car's had its technical gremlins throughout the course of the weekend, but coming into form now as we get deeper into the season. And the engines fire up now for the second of 2 races. And we get confirmation that the front row starters are good to go, which means the field will roll out behind the safety car here momentarily. And after one formation lap, it will be time to go green flag racing at Road Atlanta.
Start this race exactly as we finished yesterday, with Cooper up front and Luca Mars right on his tail here.
Yeah, those two put on quite a show in the final lap of the race. Didn't matter that they weren't even in the same class. They still wanted to fight it out, going for the overall win. There are your class pole sitters. Mars in silver starts second overall. Then it's Michael Cooper for Black Dog Racing, winner overall yesterday. And for the second straight day, the M-Class pole goes to ACI Motorsports. This time it's Alex Garcia. His brother Michael started the car on pole yesterday, but considerably further down the overall order, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Here's the overall starting grid with Michael Cooper on the overall pole with Luca Mars next to him. Then on row number 2, the Brazilian ex-IndyCar driver Matheus Leist and Mason Filippi making his series debut this weekend with Ryan Herta Autosport. Kenton Cook and Jimmy G. Bray starting on row number 3. Then it's Ryan Yardley and Tyler Gonzalez all the way back in 8th. He's got some work to do today. Josh Green for Random Vandals Racing starts 9th next to former champion Eric Filgaris. Mark Miller and Dome Motorsport starting 11th next to Tyler McQuarrie from Bimmerworld. Then it's Stephen McAleer in a BMW and Kevin Boehm further down the order than you might expect for the former champ. Werner Neugebauer and Ashley Freiberg starting alongside in row number 8. Then in the 9th row, it's the pole sitter in AM, Alex Garcia, and Harry Godsacker. Keep an eye on that Mercedes. Off-leash Motorsports based here at Road Atlanta, very fast yesterday. Nolan Allard, just his second start in the series, next to James Clay back in row 10. Chris Wilson for Colorado Motorsports and Paul Bocuse for Kelly Moss back on the 11th row. Then it's Lucas Catania, Rigid Speed Company, the team. Jensen Altsman from McCumbee McAleer Racing next to him. Denny Stripling's BMW and Sean Gibbons in the repaired McLaren starting in row 13. Muzaffar Gafarov will start in 27th next to Tyler Stone in the Mustang. Then Ed Killeen needs a clean run today. Jonathan Newdorf next to him in 30th. And Ryan Eversley out back. Engine change in that car. The team pulled an all-nighter to get that car ready to go today. Ryan, who calls this part of the world home, will be plenty motivated to drive up through the field.
Yeah, he's going to have family and friends on hand here today, so he wants to put on a show, and he's certainly in a great spot to do it. We do not expect to see Ryan Eversley at Road Atlanta starting from the back of the pack.
Eric Norris from Cielo Vision will be waving the green flag in just a matter of moments as the field comes under the bridge at the top of the hill just before turn 12 for the final time before race 2 gets underway. The pole sitter, Michael Cooper, grabbed pole by about a second in qualifying for this race. Already on the loud pedal, shows forward as the green flag waves, and here comes Cooper leading the charge. Matheus Leist challenging for second spot in the Nola Sport Porsche, and he'll take it from Luca Mars.
Yeah, he does. Really nice jump there. When you're on the inside of that second row, it's really a great opportunity to get inside the outside of the front row sitter, and he's done exactly that on the opening corners.
Side by side through the S's. It is tight, tough part of the racetrack to make it work, two abreast, but they manage it at least so far. Look at this field slithering its way through this technical portion of the racetrack.
Wow, what a snake of cars they're coming down through those high-speed S's. Everyone giving each other a little bit of racing room. Looks like Gonzalez is trying to make some moves here early.
Yeah, not waiting around, is he? He is on the attack here in the early stages. Didn't get a great starting position, but already up a pair of spots in the overall order. Meanwhile, a little damage there for Josh Green in the Random Vandals car. I thought I saw some bodywork flapping behind. Yes, indeed. That's on the left-hand side of that car. Green trying to fend off a challenge from Stephen McAleer.
Yeah, and this really showcases the depth of field when you got guys like McAleer and Boehm, past champions there, duking out for positions 12th through 14th right now in the early going.
A warning issued to Mason Filippi for blocking. That happens here early. Like the Ryan Yardley car might have a little splitter damage at the nose of that machine. We'll have to keep an eye on it. McAleer slips by Green, though, to grab that position. That puts him now up into 11th spot overall.
Up front, look at Michael Cooper. I mean, they need a green flag run here today. Cooper's been sensational. Tony Gable's had great speed as well, but they'd love for Cooper to really establish a big cushion to Tony, then go and manage in the second half of this race.
Side-by-side fight here. A couple of the drivers that have fought in TCR competition over the years. Tyler Gonzalez, Mason Filippi, and it's Gonzalez who grabs the position this time.
Yeah, there was no feeling that one out. That was total commitment. Fortunately for Mason, he could see him. Maybe he's got a spotter up there in the S's, but really a great debut for Mason Phillippe. He's had great speed in all forms of competition over his career, including TCR and GT3 competition.
Great to have Brian Herta Autosport with Kerb Agajanian on the grid for the first time in Pirelli GT4 America, part of a multi-pronged attack on SRO America here starting mid-season. They also have an entry in McLaren Trophy America. First race of that series for the weekend coming up a little later this afternoon.
Tails away, middle of the pack there, that green and white random vandals machine. You can see that rear bumper is kind of flared out. That'll be like a parachute down this long back stretch.
There's a car coming up through the pack. Looks like that's the yellow machine for Random Vandals. One of the front runners traditionally in the AM class. Denny Stripling gets the start. Denny down the order a little ways right now, but up to 26th. Made up a couple of positions here on this lap.
High speed approach to turn 10A. GT4 cars are touching just shy of 150 miles an hour there as you slow it all down, about 50, 55 miles an hour through that tricky chicane, and then back on the loud pedal.
As expected, Ryan Eversley has been on the move from the back of the pack to 25th. He's done that in just 2 laps.
Yeah, and he's going to be enjoying this run. Hopefully that new engine has given him a little better performance. They're scratching their heads. He said it was a very disappointing day in terms of qualifying, then ultimately having the engine issue in the race. He's looking to rebound here big time.
At the front of the field, it's a couple of Pro-Am cars that run 1-2. Michael Cooper starting to extend that advantage, nearly 2 seconds now over Matthias Leist. Luca Mars here is the leader in the silver class, keeping up that fine run of form we've seen out of RS1 over the last handful of race weekends.
Tell you what though, Leist is not letting Michael Cooper get too far down the road. Yes, it's nearly 2 seconds right now, but his fast lap is 3/10 off. He was a little bit faster in the first sector there in terms of fastest of the day of anyone in this field, so the Porsche has pace.
Sure does. Here is Leist. Little dent in the front of that car. Must have picked that up very early in the going. Not slowing him down a whole lot, though, to your point. He just did the best opening sector, just did his best middle sector, and is certainly keeping tabs on the man who's been the fastest all weekend long. That qualifying lap from Cooper was breathtaking.
That was out of control, 7/8 quicker than the rest of the field. And that, in fact, got him a little of the BOP help overnight, or actually not overnight, between that qualifying session and the race here yesterday.
Just had a car off track momentarily. I think that could have been Kenton Cook, possibly able to bring it back on track. Car currently shown 4th overall, 3rd in the Pro-Am class. Just got the tail end of it, but it seems like everyone's been able to continue on.
New fast lap from Matthias Leist, just a tick faster than Michael Cooper, so he's keeping the pressure on. Looking at Garcia here. What a run they've been on. They've had a lot of bad luck this year. Did have a podium early in the year, had wins potentially taken away with bad luck, and then suddenly they've been on a tear, winning round 2 at Sebring and winning here yesterday.
Back-to-back wins means they now sit 3rd in the championship. 33 tallies behind the M-Class leaders, James Clay and James Walker Jr. Speaking of which, here they are, currently shown 2nd in class and not too terribly far behind Alex Garcia right now. Just 1 car in between the 2 of them.
The key for that group, I think, is just to have the consistency with James Clay, James Walker Jr. They got the championship lead. Just take what the day will give you. Don't fight too hard. I think James Clay knows that. His personality, he loves to fight, he loves to dig in, try and go for the big wins, but championships are built over the course of really just solid podium finishes every single weekend.
Checking in here on cars running 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Overall, this is the leader in the AM class, Garcia. Car behind now is Neugebauer in the Supra. Ashley Freiberg's done well coming from the back of the pack. Just got through that traffic to 15th overall. Currently sits 6th in the silver category.
Yeah, she's having a really strong run. They struggled a little bit with the race car on the opening day here, but they've worked hard with the Kelly Moss racing team, and it seemed like both of the girls on board there are more happy with their machine.
Judson Holt and Denny Stripling just handed a 5-second time penalty for incident responsibility. Not sure if we saw the incident in question. There was something under review a few moments ago, and it's been ruled upon. That will be at the next pit stop. Well, really the only pit stop, hopefully, if everything goes right. Here's a look at that car. This is the car that has caught the penalty. And that will be flying in the ointment for them. Got off to such a good start to the season with a couple of wins at Sonoma, but are winless and only one podium in class since then coming into this weekend.
We can take a look as where the incident occurred for why he's getting that 5-second addition to his next round of pit stops. This is into turn 7. Just gets into the side there of the McLaren that had issues late in the going yesterday of Sean Gibbons. Bump and run, so they're going to give him a time penalty versus reversing positions.
Right now, that car is down in 3rd in the class. And again, that strong start they had to the year came into this weekend 2nd in points. They still hold 2nd, but have fallen a little bit further behind Clay and Walker, who are on such a fine run at the moment. Coming into this race, it was a 13-point gap 1st to 2nd in the class championship standings. Back toward the front of the field here, this is Eric Filgaris sizing up Mason Filippi. Filippi in the white and papaya McLaren, and then Filgaris just behind in the Porsche.
Yeah, multiple-time champion here in SRO competition. Great to see Eric out there running in the top 5 in his class. 7th overall, P5 in Pro-Am, and that car ahead of him, Filippi, is in the same class, so he's going to be digging deep here to try and make some moves.
New team to the championship, as we said. But Mason getting that car up to speed quickly. Closing in on 9 minutes gone by. Let's get a little more on the story from Random Vandals and their M-Class entry, Amanda. What can you tell us?
What were your thoughts on the replay?
Yeah, it looked like Denny was in a little hot. There appeared to be a window, but it closed up on him, and he just had some minor contact. No damage to the race car on either side, it doesn't sound like. Yeah, but it was obviously something that could have been avoided.
Thank you, Judson. And Denny did immediately radio the team and said that there was contact, taking ownership on what happened on track, guys.
Well, you don't hear that every day.
No. They all seem very calm and poised about it, which is the way to go. I mean, this racetrack is just great for these GT4 cars to showcase what they can do. And when we talk about overtaking opportunities, obviously at the end of the backstretch into that chicane is a prime one. But sometimes that door opens here. If you don't get a great run through 6, you can dive down to the apex in turn 7. But it takes to both drivers to kind of give each other a little bit of racing room. Otherwise, there's typically going to be some argy-bargy and someone's going to get a bump.
Interesting little battle pack forming here, headed by Ryan Yardley in the orange Porsche Cayman. Just behind, though, is Josh Green, also Kevin Bohm. They're fighting for 4th and 5th in class, and it's 3 wide further behind them. Buckle up. Let's see if they can make it through the quarter here. Oh, man. Wow. That was late from the Mustang, and the car that caught the worst of that is Harry Gottsacker in the off-leash Mercedes.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be survivable for all of the cars involved in that, and the car involved there was straight into the pit lane, so may have cut down a tire.
Maybe so. That Neugebauer does appear to perhaps have a puncture. The Mustang in question was Nolan Aller, former Indy Next driver, who is making the transition to sports cars, did Mustang Challenge at Mid-Ohio a week ago, and now making his GT4 America debut.
Take another look at that, how it evolved. Obviously a big gaggle of cars all coming into the brake zones at the same time, and then the Mustang was going to run over the top of the Toyota, had to take to the grass. He kind of leans on the Toyota, that gets into Gottsacker. There is tails away. You can see even though they've got ABS on these cars, little lock up from the Mustangs. He tries to evade and gets on the dirty side of the racetrack, and you're not going to have the same amount of grip.
For now, everyone more or less continuing on, although some more delayed than others. Neugebauer, you had to feel for him. He was absolutely not at fault in any of that. Kind of caught in the middle of the maelstrom and had to make the dive to the pit lane with the puncture.
Yeah, fortunately he's not too delayed in terms of dragging a race car around with a flat tire, so as minimal consequences, but even so, coming down pit lane is going to cost you 38 seconds plus the service to get that tire change. So hopefully he can somehow stay on the lead lap. It's going to be tight.
Godsacker also an innocent bystander at all of that, who had to take evasive action in through the grass. That car was denied a podium yesterday with a post-race time penalty. That dropped them to, what was it, 8th or 9th, I think, in class. But they ran up toward the front a good chunk of the day. He and Kevin Clifford atoning for what had been a disappointing weekend at Sebring, where they didn't even get to take part in the 2 races.
Tell you what was really important as you look at the graphic on the screen left there, that lead by Michael Cooper is just still hovering around 2 seconds, and Matthias Lace is doing a great job, and Matt Travis has really been on it this weekend. He had pole position for race 1 here, so he's got great speed, so he could really be setting the table here for NOLA Sport to have a big, big day.
Well, on the second race of the weekend in that Pro-Am class, it is the less experienced driver, the Am and the Pro-Am, that has to finish the race. So these 2 pros, they're trying to set the table as favorably as possible for their respective AMs, and it'll be quite possibly Tony Gaples battling with Matt Travis, as we've seen many times down through the years.
You can see the battle there is pretty equal, just nip and tuck, just a 10th or 2 between the 2 cars fighting it out. We talk about the depth of field. You got Stephen Mackler just barely inside the top 10 right now.
Got that move made, though, around Tyler McQuarrie. And he's for class position as well, up to 6th place now in Pro-Am, approaching the quarter mark of this 1-hour sprint.
About 10 minutes away from when first round of pit stops will happen. Well, not the first round, the only round, hopefully, for everyone in this race. So essentially 35 minutes is the maximum drive time. You have to be on pit lane 83 seconds minimum, so you add those 2 together, that's when the window opens. And for guys like Michael Cooper, we expect them to stay out there, obviously, Ryan, and maximize their seat time. So 25 minutes to go, they have to be on pit lane at the latest.
That's right. So if you were with us yesterday, the strategy basically is inverted. Yesterday, with the AMs in the Pro-Am lineup starting, they were in at the earliest opportunity to maximize their pros drive time. Today, the roles are reversed. Had a penalty to address here. Car 77.
That's for the Mustang,
yeah.
The big hit there down into the chicane.
That's a drive-through for Nolan Aller. Part of the learning curve coming to GT racing. Racing with ABS for the first time. Really accomplished driver, Nolan Aller, at the SCCA level, multi-time national champion. And then jumped straight into Indy Next, did a handful of years there with modest success. Now pivoting slightly, at least in the short term, to focus on tin tops. As we look at the way these races play out in Pirelli GT4 America, 60-minute race, max stint length of 35 minutes, no refueling during the pit stops, and the time from pit in to pit out, including the driver change, 83 seconds.
Yeah, and also importantly, on a hot day like this, no tire change unless there's an emergency, something is cut down and damaged. You're not allowed to change tires, single set of tires to go the full 60 minutes. So that means management on the front end of these races for the opening driver, and obviously giving you co-driver a little bit of something to work with, particularly, you know, if you get a late rate caution like we see yesterday, if you've kind of used them up, you're going to be pretty defenseless in the last 10-15 minutes if you don't have anything to play with.
Here is Mason Filippi, something of a homecoming for him. Got his career started in this paddock, driving touring cars. He's gone on to have great success in IMSA, primarily in TCR, but doing some GT3 racing this year with DXDT Racing. Team very familiar in this paddock. Class winner of the Nürburgring 24 back in 2024 for the Alamo, California native.
Yeah, he's really got multiple programs going on at the moment. He's still got that TCR program going on. He's also got a GT3 program where he's sharing a car with Robert Wickens in some of the shorter events. So, yeah, busy year, and super nice young man. He's really taken it to a whole new level. He's always been quick. He's really been on top of his fitness. He felt that he was kind of being outperformed in qualifying, particularly by a much lighter teammate, so that got him to burn 10-15 pounds of his own body weight to make him a little bit sharper. So he's ticking all of the boxes, takes his career very, very seriously.
Probably should have won a TCR championship last year, but had to miss a round to go do the Nürburgring 24. Ended up finishing second there, but his teammate, Harry Godsacker, who's also in this race in that Mercedes that was off track a few moments ago did go on to win that title last year.
McAleer's got his head down here. He's got Jimmy G. Bray for P8. Not a class position, but certainly important to just get as much track position as you possibly can for your teammate. Here's this car with Roland Krines.
McAleer has made good progress. He started 13th today in the overall order, up to 9th now. And he's drugged the car to 6th in class. There he is, Auto Technic, the gold nose with the blue trim on that as well. Great looking livery on that machine.
Great to see Stephen McAleer have so much success over the last decade. Just put it all on the line, moving from Scotland over to the USA. Has done everything in his life, including stocking shelves in a supermarket, to keep his life going and enable him to find these opportunities. And over the last 5 years, boys, he put together some solid seasons.
It's been a real success story, that's for sure. Back down to the fight for the M-Class lead, and it's Alex Garcia stymied a little bit. He has caught Ashley Freiberg, 15th and 16th overall, and has not been able to get around, and that's allowed James Clay to at least hold station, if not make a little bit of progress here, starting to close in perhaps.
Yeah, and this is really important here because you got, I mean, if you're going to catch the championship leader, you got, first of all, you got to beat the championship leader on the day, right, and just keep trimming points away from them. So really important for the Garcias, they maintain this momentum, see if they can go 3 on the bounce here and sweep the weekend.
Ashley Freiberg in the Porsche just in front. Under a lot of duress here. Amazing what a little momentum can do when you're talking about the Garcia brothers. Didn't seem like anything was going their way. Then suddenly they get that win, race 2 at Sebring, and come here with a ton of confidence. That was a confident move there by Garcia, thinking about poking the nose to the inside in between 6 and 7. Backed out of it. Consequently, though, Clay is definitely closing that gap.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a degree of frustration emanating there from the Garcia machine. Alex has really been working hard to get by Freiberg. Car that's not in the same class, so he's going to be kind of complaining on the radio, you would bet, that he's not able to shake James Clay. He's keeping it really tight. James is right behind him. And I think if Garcia had clean air in front of him, he'd probably be a little bit quicker, but that's the name of the game in multi-class racing. You've got to deal with the situation and just make smart decisions.
Ashley, for her part, driving for the Kelly Moss team, paired up with Lonnie Unser of the famed Unser family. Best finished this season 5th in race 2 at Sonoma. But Ashley, very accomplished driver in her own right, won a Sprint Challenge title back in 2023. Looked like she might be on the path to being an open-wheel driver early in her career, and then career took a pivot. Had some time out of the cockpit for a while, but has come back and been on pace in this second career of hers.
Yeah, she's a fierce competitor. I remember calling races when she's running GT4 competition about a decade ago on this very racetrack. So, as you said, she's looked like her career had slipped through the net a little bit, but she's come back, got great opportunity here, looking pretty defensive there into turn 7. That's going to frustrate Garcia, and here comes James Clay. He's got the leader in class right in front of him. Is he thinking big picture, or is he thinking, I want to win this motor race?
I think we both know the answer to that. James is not one to wait around. If given the opportunity, he will go for it, and he might have it now. He's about as close as you can get without putting the bumper to the car in front, taking a peek to the outside, but Garcia covers that off.
You know that his teammate, James Walker Jr., is saying, okay, James, make the clever decision here. Be smart in this situation. The Porsche's really slow off at 10B. Gives Garcia a run, nowhere to go with it. Can James Clay time this run through turn 12?
Garcia actually got a pretty good jump out of 12 and is looking to the inside of Freiberg, who covers off that maneuver. Clay now looking to put the power down. Can he draw alongside? This is an unconventional place to make a pass. He sees the gap. Garcia sees him coming, gives him a wide berth, and they stay in the same position for now.
Wow, Garcia's in a tough predicament. Here comes James Clay, forces the issue down through the S's. Garcia has to give it up.
That's for the lead in M. James Clay takes his Bimmer World BMW to the point for the first time today.
Beautiful racecraft there, just great decision making. I think Garcia is so flustered with that Porsche that's kind of stymieing him in certain parts of this racetrack, but has pretty prodigious straight line speed. So I think that's Ashley's task here as teammates look on.
That is his brother, Michael, waiting for his chance. And it might be coming relatively soon. We are close to the de facto window opening up. And while the strategy is pretty cut and dry in Pro-Am, in Silver and in Am, if your two drivers are of similar pace, that does give you a few options strategically.
Yeah, and I think either of these cars will have the opportunity next go around. Not right now, it's too early. You need to see 36.23 on the clock there, top left, before anyone can hit pit lane and do a really efficient pit stop and not be outside the 35 maximum drive time for the second driver. So teams will be thinking about this. Do you do the undercut right now, come in a little bit early, or do the overcut and just stay out there and hopefully have clean racetrack and see if that gives you the advantage as well?
While we've been watching this, Eric Filgaris got by Mason Filippi for 4th place in Pro-Am, and just behind this group, we saw Jensen Aldsman put the pass on Ryan Yardley, and I'm not sure that all is well with that orange Porsche of Yardley. He's dropped back considerably in this stint, and that's frankly not the direction you're used to seeing him go.
No, you know, Yardley's one of the superstars in our paddock, so typically you see him up on the wheel. They went down a lap yesterday, but he seemed to have similar pace to the leader at one point. But yeah, not used to seeing him down in the bottom end of the top 20.
And then to update Ryan Eversley in his drive from the back, he finds himself up to 21st, so up 10 positions here at the start of the race. Back to McAleer, who's on the move. Next target has been acquired. That is Filippi again in the Brian Herta Autosport McLaren. See like there's pace in hand in that BMW from Autotechnic.
Yeah, he's had a really solid run, just keeps knocking them off one by one, moving forward. So typical drive from Stephen Mackler. Not the best qualifying run, but he said, you know what, we'll make some subtle adjustments. Hopefully we got the car dialed in for these extremely warm conditions here at Road Atlanta.
Just one podium on the season, a 3rd place in Sonoma Race 2. Didn't see the finish in the endurance race at Circuit of the Americas. Finished just off the podium in race 1 at Sebring, and then got to drive alongside his brother in race 2 because his normal co-driver Roland had to hustle away from the track to go to one of his children's graduations. So that gave Stuart McAleer the chance to jump in alongside, and had some misfortune in that race, still managed to score a point with a 10th place result. Here he comes.
There we go, that was nice. That was beautifully done there. Just kind of fainted out, just bled his way into the apex nicely. That's how it's done. That was class.
The troubles aren't done for Mason Filippi. Jimmy Gibre next to line up a move. This is a silver class car, though, up against a Pro-Am entry.
Comes Kevin Bohm here, making a move on his ex-team. Won a championship last year, Random Vandal. Josh Green is going to try and hang tough. Kevin's going to try and get to the inside. Josh Green gives him room. Fortunately, that was going to get ugly there. Watch out behind. Mark Miller's got a big run as cars start to peel off the pit lane.
Here he comes into the pits. Kevin Bohm, Francis Seldorf looking for that first win of the season. They're going to take this first opportunity to come to the pit lane now. Luca Mars also pitted from up front.
Yeah, it's tricky there. You're battling out through turn 10A and B, and if the team's already said hit pit lane, it's not crucial. It's not like you have to come right now. If you did it a lap later, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but certainly part of the strategy there is to come in on this lap as early as possible as we see the 028. Spencer Pampelli, another hometown hero. Been based in Atlanta for a number of years now. I'm sure his family, Lindsay, and the kids are here this weekend watching him try and sweep a class victory here.
Luca Mars, job well done. We'll trot across the pit box, climb over the pit wall, and watch as Spencer takes the car home. We were raving about Michael Cooper's pole lap for this race. Spencer's pole lap for race number 1 wasn't far off.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, but Cooper took it to a whole new stratosphere. I think that's why they got dinged between qualifying and that first race, with a little bit of weight added to their McLaren. So as we said, if you got an equally fast driver, or if you got your slower driver in right now, you're going to get them out do that early pit stop. That puts you on the right side of any strategy, any yellows and things like that. But if you got your pro on board, you're going to maximize their seat time and keep them on the racetrack as long as possible, which is going to see with Cooper and Laced and Kenton Cook as well, even though Sam Craven's been super fast here this year.
Leaders in AM, well, erstwhile leaders in AM, I should say, and having changed hands a few moments ago, I thought maybe we would see ACI make that move and go ahead and make the pit stop, and looks like their rivals will answer that with a pit stop of their own. James Clay will give way to James Walker Jr.
Yeah, really great drive there by James. Handled that situation perfectly, going for the lead, not taking too much risk, so that was textbook.
Off leash in as well. They had that time penalty yesterday. They were just slightly under the minimum, but boy, it was costly with the late yellows bunching the field up. What could have been a podium result turned into a 9th. Kevin Clifford about to get into that car. Here's James Walker Jr. replacing James Clay.
Plenty of time here. You just need to really just settle in. Don't get in a panic here. There's ample time. You should have 5-10 seconds extra leeway here. Team will jump over the wall, bleed down those tires. We said before, we can't change tires unless one is damaged.
All of this looks pretty smooth to this point. The car's just sitting stationary. That means they're waiting for the elapsed time to be right so they can send the car and exit right at that 83-second minimum. Here he comes. Let's see where the Garcia brothers car is. Haven't seen them yet. Might be them in the background. There they are.
Right on the number for Bimmerwald there. 83-second stop and some change. So that's perfect. The teams really, as we get deeper into the season, are getting more efficient at that. Don't have any bobbles, even though Garcia yesterday had an issue where the car wouldn't refire. So that's got to be in the back of the minds here today. Doesn't do the same thing. Could be something to do with the heat. Get heat soaked, and you just can't get any fuel to the rail and get the motor to fire back up.
They had a pretty clean stop. They were at just over 84 seconds on the changeover from Alex to Michael.
That was tight there as James is getting up to speed.
It's tough when you get chucked right into the midst of another battle. Not much chance to get into your rhythm.
Yeah, unless you're one of the leaders, you're going to go down a lap, be coming out right middle of pack with people, you know, been out on the racetrack for 30 minutes or somewhere in that range.
Here is the overall leader from pole position, Michael Cooper, who with a win today would tie the great Peter Cunningham for the most wins all time in what is now SRO America, going back to the World Challenge era. And he's built a pretty substantial lead. Mateus Laced kept him honest in the first 20 minutes or so, but has dropped off now 4 seconds behind the leader, Cooper.
Yeah, Porsche look pretty strong, obviously. Kenton Cook is doing a good job. He sits there in P3 right now, but 4.5 seconds back as the 98 car hits pit lane.
Let's get an update on this car with Amanda.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one, actually more so for our camera guy, Mauro. He's been ready to get onto this shot right there. You'll see that bare bond go on the rear of this BMW. I saw the team with the torch to that bare bond up into the second that they went over the wall for just cosmetic improvements on this BMW. They weren't worried about any performance. I talked to Bruno Colombo before he got into this BMW, and of all the racetracks that we see this season, this is the only one that he's been to. He was ready to get behind the wheel of this BMW for his stint. It was a P3 in class yesterday, hoping for some more steps today.
And that should help, strapping that damaged fender back, make it a little more slippery through the air, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a parachute at the high speeds that we see down the backstretch. As we mentioned, these GT4 cars will touch close to 150. So we see our leader now coming into turn 1. Looking at the clock here, what can he do? A couple more laps, maybe? This one and one more. I don't think he can do 3, so he's getting close to his pit stop, and this is exactly what they needed. A good green flag run, maximize the gaps right the field, and give his teammate Tony Gaples the ability to not only extend his amount of wins, and obviously another start for Tony Gaples, but also have that opportunity for Michael Cooper to tie. And oh no, car off on the side. Is this going to bring out a yellow? This is where Sean Gibbons had his moment here yesterday. And it's not a great spot. As you climb the hill, you believe, oh, and he's going. That's really a huge break for our leaders.
The report is that he just pulled over. This is the car straight out of the pits now with Bruno Colombo driving.
Wonder if he had a seatbelt that he couldn't connect or something like that.
Maybe.
Could be a Control-Alt-Delete if he had any sort of technical issue, but maybe just couldn't get maybe a seatbelt popped as he came out of the pits. And you can't drive a car at high speed around this racetrack if you've got a belt loose end. It's obviously very, very dangerous. So just surmising what might be going on here, Amanda.
Hey guys, yeah, talking to Alberto Pina, the BMW has gone into lip mode from a heat soak issue.
There you have it. Wonder if that's what the Garcias dealt with yesterday with having the difficulty getting restarted after the pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if he's got speed. I'm not sure he does. Looks like that train of cars has taken off from him a little bit, so I assume he's done a Control-Alt-Delete, but as we said, these are production-based cars, and once you get the temperatures in the wrong direction, all sorts of the system can kick in.
Second and third overall pitting now. Laced is in for NOLA Sports. So too is Kenton Cook. They couldn't stretch it one more lap. Michael Cooper and Black Dog Racing have. They just need to be in before the clock hits 25 minutes to go. Now, some other news from race control. Remember, Kevin Boehm kind of late making his way to the pit lane. His pit entry is under review, and there's an additional pit stop under review right now. That is for the 10-car ACI Motorsports AM-Class entry driven this weekend by Muzaffar Ghafarov and Kurt Swearingen.
Yeah, we certainly talked about that little battle going on right before Kevin Boehm hit pit lane, so I'm not sure if he did an abrupt move across some traffic there to get to pit lane, which is driver's right. So you're coming off a 10B, driver's left, up through the middle of the road, underneath the bridge, and then you got to make an abrupt move over to the right-hand side, and there was certainly a gaggle of cars trying to coexist at the same time.
It was a tense moment, that's for sure. No word yet from race control on how they view it. Meanwhile, Michael Cooper takes his pole-sitting car into the pit lane, perhaps 26 minutes away from making some history here today. But if he's going to do it, it'll be down to his pit crew from Black Dog Racing and his co-driver of many years, Tony Gables, who's about to climb aboard and will inherit, if they do this right in the pit lane at least, a pretty sizable lead. Like Colombo had to come back into the pits, saw that car that had been stopped on the track in the background of the shot. So their troubles continue. Meanwhile, AM-Class lead up for grabs. Here's the fight now. It's two new protagonists, and they'll have some traffic to work through here. But in the lead car, it's now James Walker Jr. and behind Michael Garcia, trying to make it 3 straight wins for the ACI pairing.
Black Dog Speed Shop go to work here just to bleed those tire pressures down, give Tony the best possible balance for his stint here.
Whoa, big moment there. I think that would be Judson Holt.
It's up into turn 3.
Did a great job to keep it off the wall. Alessandro Chiocchetti now in that McLaren that Mason Filippi started. Very circumspect and for good reason. Seeing that car rejoin from a very strange spot, to say the least.
Yeah, very much. There's a tricky brake zone up there at the top of turn 3. You're kind of cresting the hill. You can't really see the apex until you're right on top of it, and it's really important you have the car kind of in a straight line as Gaples gets released from pit lane.
Gaples is out of the pits, comes out ahead of second place right there, Mateus Lace, then the leader in the silver class. Once everything cycles through at least, that's Spencer Pumpelly, second Porsche in this shot. Not fighting for class position here, but should very soon make his way up to the overall lead of the race, at least with the pace he has shown.
Yeah, you'd think so with the Pro versus the AMs right now. So it's Matt Travis now aboard that NOLA Sport car. Lace did an amazing opening stint, and you got to think that Travis is going to try and get his head down and chase after Tony Gaples for that Pro-Am victory here today.
And don't sleep on Sam Craven. That's the BMW that just crept into the shot momentarily. They were on a 4-race winning streak until they had the issue on the grid yesterday, which set them back. Still able to recover to get a second place finish. Full course yellow, and it comes out just as the lead in AM has changed hands. Garcia has gotten around Walker, and now the field will be bunched up with the safety car coming out once more.
It's exactly what Michael Cooper did not want to see. Built that little cushion for his teammate to work with.
This is how the lead changed hands. Bold move up the inside, down the hill through turn 12, and Garcia was able to make it stick.
Yeah, you have to think that he just got a better run through 10B to get that acceleration up the hill and have that ability to make the move before the turn 12 apex.
Now, as you said, Calvin, that work that Michael had done to build a gap that was, what, 4 or 5 seconds or thereabouts prior to the pit stop shuffles, that all gets wiped away by the safety car.
Yeah, you can see the gap behind him, but that's going to get erased here as you get that compression on the field. Kind of a wry facial expression right now from Michael Cooper, knowing this is not what they wanted. They wanted a green flag run throughout the course of this race to really put themselves in the best possible position. He's ticked every single box here this weekend with his pace aboard that McLaren. Sensational qualifying performance. Great stint yesterday, finishing it off to get the big win overall. Started this race impeccably. Gapped some other really strong Pro-Am combinations, but right now Tony Gaples just putting his visor down right now. He's got to get ready for a fight. The real key is to prep those tires. Make sure you keep those cleaned off. Neudorf, he looks like he's pretty toasty.
Yeah, he was hard at work in that opening stint. Wonder if this could be the cause for the full course yellow. Big piece of debris sitting certainly offline, but potentially in a perilous position. And then there could also be more issues for the 188, which is the Judson Holt Denny Stripling car.
Yeah, we saw him kind of on a weird line, and then as he came down through the S's, it didn't look like he was holding the traditional racing line. He had further technical issues going on, I believe.
Yeah, it appears that car is stopped somewhere out on track. Not sure where that would be, but that is a frustrating result for them. Early season championship leaders, having won the first 2 races of the year in class.
Someone stopped in the first sector, which ends between turn 5 and turn 6. It was down through the S's, so it might have been shortly thereafter that he had to come to a halt, maybe in the turn 5 area.
Well, Tony Gaples, as you said, better be ready for a battle. And I would suggest it won't just be with Matt Travis. Keep an eye on Sam Craven, who is in 3rd place in the BMW and has been in as good a form as we have seen him in this time he's spent in the championship. A look back on these incidents here. Look for this BMW, comes up on Chiocchetti, had to take evasive action. He did get the barrier.
Yeah, that's really tricky there. Someone coming out of the pit lane, may have caught a flash in that BMW, tried to do the right thing, but he essentially did the wrong thing here. The BMW was committed over to the right, and then the McLaren moved over on him.
Apologies for the language there. You can understand the frustration, though. Yeah.
It's high speed. You're touching about 100 miles an hour at that point of the racetrack.
I think we have an update. Let's get more on the story with Amanda.
I'm standing by with Denny Stripling. We just took a look at the replay. It seems like he did the right thing there, but necessarily didn't go right. I know you were trying to talk to Judson. What did you see on the replay?
Yeah, it looks like on the replay he just came through turn 1, and you come through turn 1 fully committed, hot, wide open, full throttle, and a car coming out of the pits was just a little slow, as they are wants to be coming out of the pits. I think he just saw him at the last second and reacted to not run into the guy, went to the right, and then the car got crossed up on him and he went off and tapped the wall to the right. And we had a really good battle going. I had a rough qualifying session. The qualifying here is super hypercritical. I lost my first couple of laps because of traffic, and then I didn't lay one down. That's on me, so we had to fight through traffic. The grid got shuffled up somehow, put me back a couple of further cars than I was supposed to be, then we had to work through them. Anyway, clawed our way back up into that group, and Judson got in the car. We pitted early to get him some open track time. Looked like he was running well and was comfortable in the car, and just, unfortunate. Things happen when you pit early. You run into pit exit traffic, and this is one of those tracks where you have to be really, really on your game with pit exit traffic, and it looks like caught him off.
In every battle across the SRO America Series, I think the AM battle in Pirelli GT4 might be the strongest with parity. What are your thoughts headed to Road America?
It's remarkable. I mean, the top 3, 4, 5 cars all have 1 or 2 really good drivers. The parity is really, really, really impressive. We're all running the same platform, so there's really no BOP questions, right? I think Road America is going to be awesome because, again, no BOP battles, a bunch of good drivers, all hungry for championship points. This is going to put us way back, so we got to come gunning for points.
Awesome, and time to think about it, guys.
They do. It's about a month and a half until the next round of the season. The SRO world kind of goes quiet for a little bit, with the exception of a certain 24-hour race in the Ardennes in Belgium, not too long from now, in fact, the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa. But in deference to that great event, pretty much the rest of the SRO calendar shuts down for a little while, and will fire back up at the end of August 28th through the 30th. So, safety car is off, and we're about to get this race restarted. Here we go, 18 minutes on the clock, and Tony Gaples trying to deliver history to his co-driver, Michael Cooper, but he's going to have to earn it. Matt Travis behind. Then it's the leader in silver, Spencer Pumpelly, who's already on the attack.
Well, it looked like Tony kind of breathed out the gas there a little bit, compressed the field as they came through that final corner, and Spencer Pumpelly has whistled through to the lead.
And Gaples is out wide. Does that allow Travis to draw alongside? He's trying to get to the flank of the McLaren. Travis sends it in deep, but Tony's not going to give it up easily.
No, he doesn't. He just hangs tough around the outside. So I'm not sure what he was thinking down through turn 12 at that speed. You should be able to just roll through there, but Tony wasn't comfortable. I'm not sure he thought the green was coming out. Something was amiss there, and Pumpelly gets a huge run and just streaking away right now.
Now, this is great news for Pumpelly and for RS1. A chance to extend that championship lead. Weston Workman is up to second in that class. That's in the Supra that Tyler Gonzalez started, but he has to get through 4 Pro-Am cars to even begin to think about challenging Pumpelly.
And you call that Sam Craven is right there with the NOLA Sport car, so he sits there in P4 overall, third in class. Podium run for the championship leaders, but they want more. Been on quite the tear of late. 4 wins on the Bowser and a runner-up finish yesterday. Tell you what, Tony Gable's done a good job here, and he's kind of gapped Matt Travis over this next lap here, so he's done a really nice job with that McLaren. Here comes Craven, deep on the brakes, trying to make the move, gets to the inside of Travis. Travis takes the line away, Craven has to give it up.
Oh, that's great news for Gaples. Allows him to pull away and extend that advantage. Travis trying to settle into his rhythm. Former champion in this series. Really, we're looking at a bunch of championship caliber drivers battling at the front in Pro-Am. Pumpelly still leads overall. Baltas behind him. Right there, we just saw him come through in the green car. That's second in silver. Look at this fight, though, as Gonzalez has been working his way through some of the traffic. Cork in the bottle there is one of the Porsches. Meanwhile, the AMs are side by side for the lead in class. Here we go again, those 2 BMWs. Garcia, though, able to fend off the challenge.
Yeah, and ironically, they're right behind that Kelly Moss car again. The Porsche now driven by Unser. So let's see how they deal with it this time with the other brother on board this time.
Yep, Michael Garcia behind Lonnie Unser, who told us this track she hasn't always gelled with, but she was trying to change that narrative here this weekend. That's the purple, blue, and white Porsche Cayman just ahead of the leader in Am Garcia.
Yeah, she's done a really solid job this year, making continuous progress. Is that Matt Travis off and on?
Sure was.
Craven gets by him. This is just allowing our Pro-Am leader, Tony Gaples, to streak away a little bit.
But he's got a new challenger behind him, and it might be the quickest car in the class here. And certainly over the course of the season, it's hard to argue with that for the 94 out of Random Vandals. We'll see what Craven can do now that he's clear of Travis.
Michael Garcia now trying to make a move. Unser's deep on the brakes. Garcia tries to figure it out, but Unser holds station there and keeps the position.
Crossover, but has to breathe out of the throttle. That opens the door. Walker Jr. sees a gap, and he's going to go for it. To the inside. Black and red BMWs doing battle for the lead in Am, and meanwhile, bodywork flies. We've had cars off track just ahead of them. Somehow Garcia still came out in front.
I might have been patting on and off the road there aboard one of the Dome Motorsport Mercedes.
Oh, and Travis goes for a spin.
Wow.
Into the tire wall he goes. That was from third in the Pro-Am class. Looks like he's been able to continue on, or at least drive away from the incident. We'll see if he can rejoin.
That is crazy that he had a spin there and the damage looks minimal. We talk about the big consequences here of having a moment. Did he survive this? All 4 wheels to me look to be somewhat pointing in the right direction.
It's
still second in points, Ryan. This is massive in the championship.
Oh, huge. Cost him a ton of positions, even if he is able to continue on. Not much time left to try and salvage something.
Cannot believe how clean that race car looks, relatively speaking. Bit of dust and gravel, but that may be about it.
We talk about it when we come here that it's rare you get away with something at this racetrack. He got away with several somethings in one incident.
Incredible, incredible. That could be a huge break in terms of their championship potential.
All right, let's take a breath here and reset the order. Pumpelly leads over Gaples, but is Craven closing down? Looks like he is. He was up over a second. Alex just barely at a second. Behind them, the fight is as fierce as ever in the M class. Garcia and Walker mixed up with them is Zachary Lee in that Mustang. Look at him fan out 3 wide down the front straight.
Oh, what an awesome race this is. We had a great battle here yesterday. It looks to be even spicier here right now.
On the comeback drive is Bruno Colombo, although he might be a lap down, so I'm not sure that that matters, but his really quick Randy Vandal's BMW is right in the middle of the melee.
I think I saw Frankie Muniz making some moves there as well, so he's had a great weekend, really performing well aboard that Mustang.
That's a really good point. He is up to 4th in class and isn't too far away from a potential podium. Remember how excited he was when he got his first pro podium back at Sonoma to start the season?
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. He has a lot of passion for his motorsports career.
Now this continues to rage here at the front of the field. Neither Garcia has quite been able to solve this riddle. How do you get around this silver class Porsche? It doesn't matter who is in it, but they've had just enough pace to keep the BMW behind.
Well, I think down this part of the racetrack, along the straightaway, the Porsche is a little bit stronger, seems to gap the BMWs a little bit. So a real concertina going on in terms of where the performance is of those respective race cars. So Garcia a little bit sideways there, coming off at turn 7. He's got to watch he doesn't overheat those tires as he gets a little bit stymied and frustrated by that.
Love that shot. Great to watch, but also listen to the cars blasting under the Fox Factory Bridge. Here comes Garcia to the outside of Unser now. Can he make the move into one and create a buffer? He is around, but he's also out awfully wide. Looks like Walker's going to try to follow him through.
He made the move, then just got a little bit wide and got out in the grain. Really nice job there by James Walker Jr. That was beautifully crafted. Now he's on the dirty part of the racetrack. He needs to get back into the rhythm of the S's, otherwise you're going to send it through the grass there. Nicely done.
You got the sense, though, that James knew he had to go. He couldn't get trapped with a car in between if he was going to have any chance of winning this race.
Bodywork flying there, a little piece of debris flying. It's now driver's right extreme there on the run down at turn 6.
Yep, Alan Patton in the thick of things once again. That is the 5th placed Pro-Am car, 9th overall. Roland Crines side by side right now. That is with Michael Petramalo, a couple of BMWs doing battle, and behind them, this is for the lead in AM once again. The door is open, cracked barely to the inside, and James Walker Jr. is going to try and burst through.
Yeah, side by side, he's got the inside line. Now he's got to pick his braking mark. He's on the dirtier part of the racetrack compared to Garcia. Garcia takes it in a little bit deeper. Walker tries to carve the corner. Garcia now has the inside. They'll be side by side as they accelerate up the hill behind Crines.
BMW's 2 by 2 down the hill, Noah's Ark style there. Able to make it through on the other side, and again, Garcia hangs on, fends off that challenge.
Yeah, that was nicely done, because I thought he was going to lose that position with Walker's run down the back stretch. He'll have to regroup here, reset, see if he can make a move. Traffic could play a huge factor in this battle for the AM win. If Garcia can get by one of these cars and get a buffer, that could help him out.
This is Crines up ahead, not associated. These are 3 different BMW prep shops here. Crines a little bit wide. Does that give Garcia the run he needs? Walker is staying locked to the rear wing of the class leader, trying to find a way by.
Garcia, really nice run there through turn 5. Right in the wheel tracks of Crines, looks to the inside. Got to be careful. If you get stymied, it's going to give Walker a run through 6. Garcia carves it, can't make it stick.
Parks it down at the apex to make sure there's no path through for 2nd place James Walker Jr. By the way, Spencer Pumpelly still leads overall. Tony Gaples still holds the lead in Pro-Am and is actually pulling a gap on Sam Craven now over the last few laps. He's now just under 9 minutes away from delivering Michael Cooper the win. That would tie him with Peter Cunningham for the all-time record in SRO America history.
What a performance by Tony Gaples as his teammate Michael Cooper watches on. I think he thought maybe our chance of victory was gone with that yellow, but Tony has stepped up in a big, big way.
Back to the AM class fight. Again, Roland Crines kind of stuck in the middle of it. He's got a battle of his own to fight. Here comes Walker looking to the inside, thought about making it 3 wide. Instead, it's an outside move for Garcia, which becomes the inside right here. Once again, will Walker try and force his way through? Oh, little contact there with the leader in AM. Opens the door up to the outside. Walker in the dust.
Dirt tracking it there through the S's. That was wild. Offline, trying to take advantage. Didn't have the grip to make it stick. Surprised that they survived that. That didn't look good there for a moment. All 3 BMWs trying to find the same piece of racetrack.
And sitting in 3rd in AM, should anything happen to the top 2, is this Mustang, Frankie Muniz, who is not so slowly, but very surely catching the top 2.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. They continue to battle. It's going to give an opportunity here for Frankie aboard that Mustang. He and Tyler Stone having a big day.
He's got another Mustang in front of him. That's Michael Tosi. Wonder if they might help out at all to try and get that Tech Sport entry into a position to fight for 2nd or possibly even the win in class. Garcia now to the outside of Crines, but the old push, the old bump draft there for Walker, trying to keep Crines alongside to open up a chance for himself.
Yeah, be careful though as Garcia slides it to the inside. Now Walker gets a huge run. He can get inside Crines as well. He has to give it up. I was concerned that Lonnie Unser was going to try and make a move around Walker as he was just being patient there into the chicane.
Roland wanted no part of getting stuck out wide in the dirty part of the racetrack and made sure he got down to the apex, but it has split for now the leaders in the AM class. Now, let's see what Frankie Muniz can do. He's got to get through this traffic to have any chance at getting to the top 2. Easier said than done, though, with 6.5 minutes to go.
Tosi making some moves aboard the Mustang. See the 5 car looks like it's just getting back up to speed. Not sure if they had another moment. But meanwhile, back at this battle here, Frankie Muniz is thinking, oh, if I could just clear this traffic, I could go after the leaders. But it's a fierce battle here with about 6 minutes to run.
By the way, an incident under review. Yves Baltas 2nd in silver. The other car involved was Matt Travis. And we only saw the end of Travis going for that spin, but that is currently under review by Race Control. For more on the Frankie Muniz Tech Sports story, let's go to Amanda.
I just happened to be down by the team when Frankie took that position onto the podium, and that Tech Sport team went crazy, including Tyler Stone. But we did a little walk and talk with Frankie Muniz back in Sebring, and he told us about his commitment here to GT4 racing. You know, we see him in other disciplines of motorsports, specifically the NASCAR Truck Series throughout this season as well. But he said this is where he wants to be. GT4, GT3, we will see the evolution of Frankie Muniz in SRO America.
Yeah, he's committed to his sports car racing future, that's for sure. The incident, by the way, has been ruled on, and the 2nd place car in silver, 4th overall, Yves Baltas will have to serve a drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, leader in AM dropping wheels off to the outside of the track a few moments ago, kicking up some dirt, but this has not gone well for James Walker Jr. He's now had a couple of cars get by him, separating it for the lead.
Going to make it tough on James Walker Jr. there. So, yeah, you're right. He was trying to weave his way through the traffic. And there's that moment where the 7 car gets in the back of Matt Travis. And just a devastating day in terms of the points. Right now, they're outside of the point scoring positions in P11.
Well, this is really big for the Rafa Racing team. And Weston Workman, Tyler Gonzalez, they had dropped down to 4th in class. That will promote them to a podium and at least keep them in the relatively high point scoring positions. They'll still lose ground to Pumpelly and Mars, but that's actually at least one extra position that they gain.
Look at this battle. This is something else. What a melting pot of manufacturers and class positions we're seeing right here.
That was a fight for position. Tosi on Crines for 6th and 7th. Back to the front, though. This is not done yet. Sam Craven maybe was sitting back conserving his Pirellis for one last run at the Black Dog Racing McLaren. Michael Cooper can only watch as his longtime teammate Tony Gaples tries to hang on for the final 4 minutes.
And this is the drive of his life. We talk about making that record-setting start here yesterday. He's gone one more start here today, but he'd love to put another one in the win column as well. I really felt he was going to be vulnerable here on this restart. He didn't have a great restart. Pumpelly shot by everyone. We'll have to wait and see what happened there when we got the wave of the green flag. Tony didn't really get on her, but boy, as he responded in a big way. Super consistent lap times, and he seems like he's got enough pace here to maybe keep Sam Craven at bay.
3.5 minutes to go. Pumpelly cruising out in front for RS1, but jeopardy aplenty for the win in both Pro-Am and to some degree in Am. Garcia now has separated himself from Walker by a pretty healthy margin, at least 3 cars in between them at the moment, so this becomes the most captivating battle for a class win that we have. Gaples in the McLaren, Craven in the BMW with just under 3 minutes to go.
Michael Cooper just sits patiently and waits, waiting for that clock to wind down. Should have 2 more laps. It's going to be awfully tight, but I think we should see the white flag next time by. So Tony's just got to keep hitting his marks. Traffic or anything like that shouldn't be a factor. Don't get conservative. Just keep doing what you're doing, Tony Gaples. You could give your teammate a record-tying win here today.
But Sam Craven and Kenton Cook, they're thinking championship. Had a 4-race winning streak snapped yesterday, still managed to salvage a 2nd place. They're not thinking about 2nd today. Sam Craven has arrived and he's on the attack.
He really is. I don't think Tony had a great run through turn 1, and that's allowed that gap to compress a little bit here halfway through the lap.
Since failing to score a point in the first race of the season, Craven and Cook have not finished worse than 2nd. It's an amazing run that they're on. They've been able to build a sizable lead in the championship. That said, the win yesterday for Gaples and Cooper have brought them closer in the championship battle. Tom Kopczynski has spun. That's at the top of the S's. Looks like he's able to continue on. Tom had fallen down. Oh, he was actually 5th at the time. He was giving that car a pretty good run. This is the battle he was in with Tosi.
He got some help.
Sure did.
He really did. Still be looking at that one. You just got a point going up the hill there. You got to realize it's going to be awfully tight to coexist. Look at the gap that Gaples has now established once again on the BMW. You
just wonder if maybe certain parts of the track favor the BMW. He seems to be strong here, out of 12, through 1, into the S's, but then Gaples is able to build the lead once again, and he'll need to do it one more time. Some traffic, though, leaving the pits. That's Baltas, who just served a drive-through penalty and wisely lets the leaders play through.
Tony had a better run there through turn 1. That means the gap is not as tight as it was last time around, so Gaples just keeps hitting his marks. He could be on his way to another record-setting day for this team and co-driver Michael Cooper.
Yesterday,
Craven gets a huge run. Craven's got a run coming out of turn 5.
Yesterday, Tony Gaples became the most experienced driver in SRO America history. Today,
watch the crossover here. Craven's going to be thinking about turn 7.
His co-driver, Michael Cooper, trying to make some history as well. Craven, though, a good run out of 7. His best chance, his last chance, might just be at the end of this full throttle section.
Pumpelly, what a run they've been on. Didn't get to victory lane at Sonoma, but since that time, been on a tear. Top step of the podium ever since.
Here come the front 2, down the hill one more time. Craven starts to close in once again. Gaples slipped a little bit wide, but has a buffer. Craven, though, closing in, giving that car everything he's got. Pumpelly will take the win overall, but Gaples takes victory, and with it, his teammate Michael Cooper ties Peter Cunningham to become the winningest drivers in SRO America history. Craven comes up just a fraction of a second short. It's still back-to-back runner-up results for the Random Vandals pairing. And then to the AM class, where Michael Garcia withstood the pressure, fought his way through the traffic, and is about to deliver a 3rd consecutive win to his team and to his brother, who is also his co-driver. Here he comes one final time. Michael and Alex Garcia sweeping the weekend at Road Atlanta. Across the line in second, James Walker Jr. And through for third place, Frankie Muniz, Tyler Stone, on a weekend that began with frustration. Technical problems cost them a good chunk of the testing, maybe some smoke out of the car here in the final moments too, but it came too late to affect the outcome. It's a podium finish for Frankie and Tyler. Let's hear from the co-winningest driver in SRO America history. Michael Cooper is with Amanda.
And celebrations abound down here, but probably none bigger than for this guy right here, Michael Cooper. It was a 1 in the air immediately for Michael, and with the assist from Tony Gaples today, you tie Peter Cunningham as the winningest driver in this series. Already a banner weekend for the team. What does this milestone represent for you?
Wow, it's incredible to be in such formidable company as the legend Peter Cunningham. A lot of respect to him. He's a very good friend. We've shared a lot of dinners and adult beverages over the years, so it's just super cool to be in this paddock with all the great people like Ray Sorensen, Tony Gaples, the whole Black Dog team for so many years, and so many different other teams and co-drivers. You know, I have to give thanks to them, and just for myself, you know, I'm not stopping here, that's for sure. You know, I want to get the record, not just have a tie. Sorry, Peter. But, yeah, I just always keep digging, keep fighting, and feel like I got at least half a career left in me, so we'll see.
This one seems a little emotional for you. Why?
Oh, no, not yet. Maybe at some other point. There's been some emotional races over the years. You know, there's so many highs and lows in this sport, and there have been years I've gone without wins in this paddock, and then, you know, you finally get one, and it's like, oh. But, you know, the approach has always stayed the same. You know, there may be a little more aggression at times here or there, but the approach never changes. And, you know, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I can do if someone gives me a good car.
Well, let's go get your guy. There might be someone waiting for you at the podium.
Well, he is the poster boy for using the ladder within SRO America. Drivers have arrived in Park for May. Series President Greg Gill there to congratulate Tony Gaples. What a historic weekend for that team and that pair.
I'm really curious to know what happened on that restart, because it seemed like Tony didn't go through turn 12, and that's when Spencer got the big run. I thought, oh boy, they're in trouble here. And he just came alive, and he responded to the challenge. And I will say, I mean, it's easy to kind of get on the bandwagon, but that was the best performance I think I've ever seen Tony Gaples put together, despite his long and distinguished career in SRO competition.
Well, you know, when it comes down to getting your elbows out and having a fight, that's what he lives for. That's what he comes to the racetrack for. And
there's Petey. That's cool.
Yeah, how cool is that? Who works as a steward, longtime driver, of course, ran real-time racing, still does, which has been a pillar of this paddock for many, many years. And these three, Gaples, Cooper, and Cunningham, have shared many a dinner over the years.
Absolutely.
Let's hear from some more of the front runners and race winners. Amanda, who have you found?
Well, first I found Peter Cunningham, who came to greet the guy that just tied him. What's this moment like when you reflect on your career, Peter?
No, I'm very proud of Michael. He won at least a few of those races for real-time racing. So Tony, he won a lot more for Tony. But no, these guys did a great job today, and congratulations. And Michael certainly excellent little driver. I think if he sticks with it, he might go places.
Amazing for Peter to come down here and greet the winners. And Tony, I have to come to you. What an assist on this to get this tie for Michael Cooper. I think Calvin Fish used the word brilliant. How much fun were you having out there?
Well, you know, the car was kind of going away, so it wasn't all fun, but yeah, when I crossed the checker, wow, that was a great feeling for sure.
During our walk and talk, we talked about milestone weekends. Where does this one rank?
Oh, definitely on top, to get him tied, and you know, with my start record, wow, this is it. And yesterday's overall victory, what a weekend, epic.
You know, guys, he said before it was the Indy weekend, but now we know that this one will trump that, coming in for the records and did it to Spencer Pumpelly. And what a wild one it was out there. And Spencer, well, we're going to skip on for just a second, a conversation with the officials. But as I move on over to the AM winner for the Garcia boys, I will take our camera guy with us. As we get over, I saw the team going absolutely berserk on the wall, guys. This is going so much fun for you. This AM battle is wide open to Indy. We talked to Denny Stripling about it. How much do you agree?
Yeah, it's definitely wide open. I mean, I think we finally got our groove in the car, took out all the bad juju.
Guys, we're due.
Yeah, we were due, and it's nice to bring it home for the team. You know, they work really hard on this car all the time, and for Carter too. You know, telling our coach, telling us, you know, how to do things right, you know. So I think we're very happy.
Alex, it's a bit of a break until Road America. Is that a good thing for drivers or bad?
Depends how you want to take it. It's a good little break to, you know, keep all the bad juju out, but I think we have some good practice under our belt, good couple of test days, and we'll be ready for Road America.
All right, guys, it'll be here before we know it as I head back over to Spencer Pumpelly and Luca Mars debriefing after the race. Spencer, I'm going to pop in and talk to you. I was trying to get that before. Yeah. Everything okay?
Everything's good. Just a little misunderstanding, but it is all good. It didn't really affect anything. How about this kid at the beginning? Always, you know, it's awesome having such a solid teammate who, you know, not only is he reliable, puts us in a good position, but I can just sit in the pit box and not stress out because I know it's taken care of. So I just can't say enough about him, the team, the car, the prep this weekend. We knew from the get-go that left rear tire was going to be an issue, and I felt like we managed it a lot better than everybody else. And yeah, I just can't say enough. So this is 5 in a row, and wow, I'm beside myself. Hometown, got the kids and the wife and the fans, friends here. It's a great place to do it.
How are you with all these compliments?
Oh, so I love him, man. I can say the same about Spencer, you know, same thing. I can just sit back in the pit box at the end there, watch him, knew he was going to hold on to the car and get that win there. So super happy with how the weekend went. Big shout out to Spencer, obviously, and the whole team. Just everyone who's been killing it all year. We have a great little streak going right now. We're going to see if we can keep that going at the next one. But just big thanks to all the guys at RS1 and Spencer. They've been killing it.
Ryan, you have one heck of a race to review right here. Good luck.
I appreciate it. I'll take all the help I can get, but that sees Pumpelly and Mars extend the lead to 39 points. A look back on a frantic, dramatic, and history-making race number 2 for Pirelli GT4 America here at Road Atlanta. It's been a long time since we raced here, but it was worth the wait. Michael Cooper from pole position controlled the early stages. Behind him, though, it was a hornet's nest with 31 GT4 cars taking the start. Little contact here in this moment. Both cars, though, able to continue on. However, there was a time penalty issued for that bump and run. McLaren on Mercedes in the first half of the race. This was not quite so clean, unfortunately. Noah Auer misjudging the braking there, given a drive-through penalty for that. A couple of cars caught up in the melee. Stephen McAleer was the man on the move in the first stint, up 4 positions at least from his starting position by the time he turned that car over to Roland Crines. It was a Sunday drive on a Saturday for Michael Cooper. Had to give the car up to Tony Gaples for the final stint. Battle in AM was fascinating. One of the contenders was taken out in that moment. Random vandals with Judson Holt and Denny Stripling crashing out. But on the ensuing restart, Tony Gaples trying to maintain the class win, which would be history for his teammate Michael Cooper. Spencer Pumpelly came through for the overall win. On the restart, Matt Travis was tipped around. Eve Baltas would be penalized for that contact. Leaders in the AM class were in the midst of other traffic. This very nearly cost Michael Garcia the lead of the race. Ultimately, James Walker Jr. couldn't quite make it stick out in the dirty part of the track. A little more contact here, sent Tom Kopczynski for a spin, but we stayed green. Spencer Pumpelly won overall, but with the win, Tony Gaples delivered a history-making victory for Michael Cooper, who becomes the joint winningest driver in SRO America history with Peter Cunningham. Let's hear from third place in the M class, Frankie Muniz and Tyler Stone. What a comeback weekend for them.
Hey guys, and it was quite a story. Not only did they find podium, but there was a lot happening inside of that Ford Mustang. What was it, Frankie?
Oh, it was crazy. The battle, just the whole, after the restart, we were 3 wide, I feel like, in every corner, just going nuts, trading positions with the other Mustangs, BMWs. That's what's fun about this series. You're racing with all the different manufacturers. But I knew, I counted the cars. I was like, I think we're in third. I'm going to keep going, but I had every alarm going off. Everything was overheating, no oil pressure. But I was like, I'm not pitting for this. We're going to finish. So he did an awesome job in the first stint, and I just, got to bring it home, and it was awesome. It was so much fun.
When we got over here, we said to Frankie Muniz, seems like this racing fits you. And Tyler, what is the ceiling for this team? This AM battle is wide open.
I think there's just a lot left for us. I mean, this is an example of what we're capable of. When we had no practice, we were able to do some testing, but we had old tires, and then we got you got an out lap and in, and I got an out and in and practice 1, practice 2. But credit to Ford Racing and to Tech Sport. They were able to tune the car, dial it in, get it all set up just for that. So I think we got a capable team, great engineers. I think the sky's the limit right now. We're ready for the rest of the season. So.
Well, as we know, rest of the season is going to head to Road America next. You guys have some time to debrief before then. What will be the thoughts leaving Road Atlanta?
I mean, this is awesome, right? To be on the podium, that's our goal every week. And to get it, it motivates you for the next one. I hate that we have such a long break to the next one because I'm ready to go. That was so much fun. It was so fun.
Calvin, sounds like that Ford Mustang was going to have to be on fire for Frankie Muniz to stop that one.
Yeah, he was going to get it to the finish somehow, some way. So a great performance for them, really solid podium run, and they're looking forward to the remaining 3 events on the championship season. But when we talk about horses for courses, we got sweeps by all 4 classes here this weekend, but different manufacturers, which is really cool.
It is. A look at the way the points look leaving Road Atlanta, and Luca Mars and Spencer Pumpelly extending their advantage now 39 points to the good over Weston Workman and Tyler Gonzalez. But don't look now. Kevin Bowman, Francis Seldorf have snuck into the 3rd position. Another runner-up result for them, and you feel like that win is coming.
Yeah, and that was a big day because they did not qualify well, and they looked like they admired mid-pack, so that's a really solid result for the pair of them just to get back up into a runner-up position. They're 4th on the year, I believe.
Tough day for Colombo and Green. It looked promising, but they'll fall a little further behind, dropping down to 4th in the points ahead of Freiburg and Unser. AM class celebrating their podium. Already Tyler Stone and Frankie Muniz standing on the 3rd spot. Then James Walker Jr. and James Clay taking their spot up there in 2nd place.
Some big streaks going on.
Yeah.
These Garcia boys are 3 on the bounce as well.
They are, and the team that has finished 2nd in all 3 of those has been Walker and Clay. And so they've at least minimized some of the damage, but yeah, that's a big jump for the brothers Garcia, who find themselves now very much in that championship picture. They were outside of the top 5 coming into this weekend. I think they were 6th, and now they're not too terribly far out if they can keep winning these races.
Yeah, 50 points will help that cause, right?
Yeah. And you heard them referencing their coach, Carter. That's Carter Fartuck, who's been working with them for a couple of years now. And always a guy with a big smile on his face when you see him around the paddock. Great asset to have in their corner. And there's the celebration. Always a bit more vigorous on day 2, and you don't have to preserve that fire suit to race the following day. Plenty of time to get that dry cleaned before we turn up to Road America at the end of August. Here's a look at the points now. As mentioned, Garcia up to 2nd, helped in part by the fact that Stripling and Holt had such a disappointing day today. Really frustrating for them to be caught out by the car leaving the pit lane, but nevertheless, still in the fight. Clay and Walker still, though, with the advantage. And then Muniz and Stone jump up to 4th place with their podium result, even on points now with Chris Wilson and Zach Lumsden. Another class to talk about as far as the points are concerned. How about the weekend for Kenton Cook and Sam Craven? They are now well ahead of Layston Travis, who had a good run come undone late in the going today. Cooper and Gaples, though, with that historic win, now third in points as we head to the summer break. Up next, Road America, August 28th through the 30th.